I know. Sorry. Going live. And we're live. Oh my gosh. Diane Franklin's back on $2 late fee.
Merci Buckets for coming back.
Merci for having me back.
It's
very
nice.
exciting.
This is really special because I think you were one of our first in-studio guests we've ever had on our show.
Yes, I know. You know
were.
what? I remember
Yep.
that. I mean, I'm the old school. I'm the early guest.
The OG.
So, yeah, there you go. Thank you. OG.
LF.
You
As
set
we
the
say.
mold.
Yep.
You set the mold for everyone else. Okay, well, you got to be as great as Diane if you're coming in here. And
Yep.
it's
And everybody saw you on the show and was like, oh, yeah, we want to be on that show too. So
Merci buckets to all of you who are here for me. Mwah. I send you a kiss.
Merci Buckets.
An
all
international
around.
language.
Yeah.
Language of love.
So, so thank you and thank everybody who's watching live today, all 6.5 people. We appreciate you. And this is great. Obviously, we've been trying to get you back in. A little thing called the pandemic happened. And
what was that? I don't remember.
I don't know.
it was the blip.
It was like,
Yeah.
it was like a year ago or 2 years. I don't know.
And it's still happening, right?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's right. It's
I
also
don't know.
still
I
happening,
know, and here I am, but I'm live because I just felt like I want to be with you guys. First of all, I had such a great time the first time I came, but second of all,
Likewise.
Yeah.
it's not even that I just want everything to be normal. It's just that I'm trying. I'm being the what is the scientific experiment? I'm the guinea pig. I'll be
Yes.
the guinea pig.
Patient zero.
Right.
What
Patient
is the
zero.
scientific experiment that I'll be?
I'll be the
that?
one, so other actors can feel safe going to live events. I'm here without a mask, but yet I have my boosters, so I've got my shots like a dog. Like got my shots, my boosters. I'm all good.
Just like that.
I don't have the cone of shame, but I'm all good, right?
Well, we're mindful. We're mindful of the fact that, obviously people are very sensitive still, obviously, rightfully so.
Yes.
But we have a clean space, a safe space, and to
A
have
safe
you
space.
a safe space, and to have you back on in this. Before we went on live, I said, the world needs more positivity. The world needs more happiness, and
absolutely.
we bring that, and you bring that, being on our show.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh! I mean, I'm like so excited to have you back. This time you're promoting something very special, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But I just feel like from where we were, what was that, 2-3 years ago now to now, and you haven't changed at all. You look fantastic.
Oh, thank
you.
The joy is still beaming from
Yep.
your essence.
It's me and this cafe latte.
There you go.
Hanging out.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And you know what? I also turned 60, which I have to say is pretty amazing.
Happy
and
birthday.
Thank you. I mean,
In
it's
February.
this
Right,
year,
but
still, I think that's an accomplishment. Every decade you make a decade, you go, wow, check. Like I did that. That's amazing. So not everybody gets that gift, and I do not take it lightly.
That is a
So
great
that's why
approach.
I'm here, because it's important to put it out there and pass good energy to people. Continue, make the full circle, give it to people, because I think it's, like you said, it is really important right now, especially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love that.
Something else happened on your birthday, didn't it? Didn't something come out on your birthday?
Oh, this is.
Oh, it is, yes.
I'm like, oh, this is like a
very
setup that I.
nice.
Like,
I
okay.
don't. At
okay.
first, I was
Did
wondering.
you guys plan this?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, it's exciting. Yes, I came out with my Better Off Dead tribute.
Show it
book.
to the camera.
Oh my gosh! All right,
Show-
so
I guess
voila.
I guess we can all pick up our books right now.
Yes.
Yay.
Oh, I am going to pick up mine too.
Yeah.
I
Show
didn't
off.
know that they had their own copies, so that's why.
No, we bought these.
Oh,
as,
yeah.
as
No,
you should
come
too,
on.
via Amazon.
Favorite movie of all time. I would not have. Yeah, of course we're gonna have your book.
I have to say I've written this is my third book.
Third.
But it wasn't, first of all, it wasn't intentional. But the second thing was, this is my favorite one because look at the back. Because director Steve Holland did contributions. And again, I got so many things that for this book that I had no idea I was going to get. Interviews and background facts and things. I had no idea how many people would be so loving to contribute to this. So it was a surprise for me even, putting it together.
Totally. Yeah.
As well as including all the people who love Better Off Dead, and then they wore the coat. I went to conventions and I put their photos in this book. I mean, there's a whole thing about it when we get into it. But I
Yes.
just want to say, yes, this came out on my birthday because it was a present to me, celebrating the fact that I just love this film, and I love it as much as those who watch it. So makes me really happy when people tell me that they love it or they haven't forgotten about it. Seriously, right? That's why I did this.
They haven't, and dare I say, it's aged so well with time. You know, certain movies from the 80s haven't aged well, for better or worse, whatever. But Better Off Dead is one of those movies that it just gets better every year that goes by, every decade. We watched it a couple years ago to get and to kind of get refreshed on it. And I was like, this holds up today.
To get refreshed.
Well, he doesn't.
I watch it every.
Aw, no,
You watch it every year, don't you?
I mean, I've watched it many times. I think we discussed that the first time. Yeah, it really is my favorite movie of all time. But I don't want to interrupt, but we are featured in this book, and that's another. We are on page 127, and you gave us top billing.
Top billing.
Yeah, I did.
And that can't be an accident. Well, if it is, then it's a happy accident. But
No.
There are no happy accidents.
You know, it's in order of fandom. Like that was. No, I know. Like you guys are super fans.
It's in order
uber
of
fans.
the best people.
Yeah, so best people.
In order of raddom.
Yes.
How about
Yes.
that?
Yeah. I mean, we got higher billing than most celebrities in
Well,
here.
you guys were a staple of the love. I mean, you
Than
call
downtown
yourself.
Julie Brown. We got higher billing than downtown.
Well,
Julie Brown.
you call it $2 late fees.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, $2 has a lot of meaning to me.
$2 does. You know, it's funny because $2 late fee, obviously, is the connection to the video stores where I rented Better Off Dead more than a dozen times or more back in the day. But the $2 reference from the movie.
Yeah.
And there were, I think, when we were tossing around ideas of names back in the day, and we said, well, $2, and I think even Dustin was like, I want my $2. He started quoting it, and I thought, well, that could work too. But if maybe there'll be a nice connection here with $2 and $2 late fee.
Oh, I think there's an absolute. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, there was. If it would be a $3
kismet.
late fee,
I don't remember that
you-
conversation at all, by the way. But
I do. It was at Jinkies. We had a little bit of it.
Oh yeah, Jinkies.
Jinkies.
I know
You weren't talking
Jinkies.
about the podcast
No,
yet.
maybe after.
No, I think
Do
you were.
you eat
I
at
think you were
Jinkies?
like,
Yeah.
it should be
Jinkies is
called
really
this,
good.
and I was like, yes.
Yes, that's true.
I think that's how it happened.
That's true.
But the double meaning is not lost, and
No,
obviously.
well, it didn't lose with me, and that's why you're in this book with that. Because if it was called $3 podcast, I don't think I would have it.
Right. $2.50.
Right?
No.
No,
Not
gonna
$10
work.
podcast.
No.
It's a good thing that the economy just was very low then. It could go $2.
Oh my God,
right?
that's so funny.
Did you ever have to pay late fees back in the day when you went to the video store?
Yeah, for sure. But the funny part for me was when I used to go to the like Blockbuster. And I would say, okay, well, I wonder if anybody, I would always look to see, do they have the movies that I did,
Yeah.
And they always did, which was great, but they always were out.
Oh, that's a good
Better
sign.
Off Dead was
That's
out,
good.
Last American Virgin, always, Amityville, all of them were out every time I went. So that was kind of fun. TerraVision, I don't know if it was then that out, because
Well,
it was a
and
niche.
Blockbuster was kind of tricky because they were a family video store.
That's right.
So TerraVision is, I believe it's R-rated. It might be the unrated, but it was,
is.
maybe the more cult area.
Yeah. I don't
Last
know that
American
we
Virgin, too.
carried that there.
Yeah, I was shocked that they had Last American Virgin at the at Blockbuster, but they did.
Me too. I'm wondering. We have an episode called "Tales from the Video Store" on our Patreon, and people can go and listen to our stories from when we worked at a video store, and we talked about how we used to have to call people on the phone to tell them that they had a late fee due.
Oh no, that's terrible.
And sometimes it was depending
Click.
on who the person picked up the phone and what movie it was. Because I worked at a general video store that's rented everything that you can think of, and Dustin worked at Blockbuster. So depending on who you called and telling him, well, what movie is it? Well, I don't really want to tell you what the movie is, sir, but or ma'am, my husband will
Right,
drop it
that's
off later
right.
today.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's
Right.
funny.
It's called Double Impact, but not the one
Right.
not the action movie.
Right.
Right. Anyways, but
What a funny thing to do for a job. Like you actually had to.
very
That's a-
stress-inducing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stressful.
I love this. I would like to. If you've worked at a video store, please tell us your stories. I think that's
Yeah,
really
well,
cool.
you can. That's such a good segue because you can come on our show. It's a sub show. It's a spin-off show.
my
Tales from the Video Store.
Yep.
Yep. And we're opening it up.
Do
we're
it.
opening it up to the
Do it.
Patreon.
There's a local
It's
video
flashing
store.
at the bottom of the screen. It's
Right
not,
here.
but,
No, it's
but
not.
anyway, you'll have to look it up.
There's a local video store called Vidiots in
I
Santa Monica.
love Vidiots.
Well-
That's another one that I used to go to.
Well, Vidiots has been moved to Eagle Rock.
It's coming back. It hasn't
Coming
officially
back.
launched.
Yeah, it hasn't launched yet. We're having the founders on next month to talk about some tales from the video store. But what was your local video store when you were growing up? Was it Blockbuster or something else? Can you remember?
Well, when back in my day, we didn't have any video stores. When we wanted to watch something, we watched each other. What did we do? We first of all, there were no videos when I first growing up, and that was a thing. Like, you had to watch TV when it was happening, and if you missed it, well, tough tarts. Tough tarts.
Tough tarts. I like that.
Tough tarts.
Tough tarts there.
Yeah. And then what happened? And then then people started getting the VHS machines at home. Mm-hmm. So I'd have to say Blockbuster was probably the first one that I came connected with. But when I came out to LA, because I'm from New York, that's when I discovered Vidiots. And I also discovered the video store on Lankersham that has
Dynasty Video or no?
I don't know what it is.
Galaxy Video.
It's super niche.
Don the Dragon Wilson talked about this video.
He did.
Yep.
No one knows the name because maybe Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Is it?
It is Odyssey.
It is Odyssey.
Great
Thank you,
pull
Diane.
from the knowledge.
That was just a weird kind of visual thing. I saw it. Yeah. But Odyssey never seemed like the name of the video store. It just was like Odyssey. So,
which kind of I thought was like an adult video store.
That's what I thought.
Like, that's,
I thought so too.
But
then
they had those there.
Different kind of
people
Odyssey.
said, no, that's where you go for the niche stuff. So that's
the kind of video store
cool.
I worked at.
But now, and then I also like, everybody knows this, Amoeba.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Amoeba.
Amoeba's great. Although you don't rent, but you buy. But
No,
still,
you buy them there.
If you need niche videos, go to Amoeba.
Or great music.
Or unbelievably cool.
Did you go to
music,
Amoeba back in the day?
Yes, always.
Were you a tape girl, vinyl girl, CD girl, all the above?
Oh, nice question. I was never a vinyl girl.
Really?
Well, I mean, records, yes. But I thought, there was a period of time where I missed the entire period where people used to get vinyl movies.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that's called. The disc?
Laser disc?
Okay, that was the period of time that I must have had some kind of I missed. Like some people take drugs and then they miss the whole period of their life.
Laserdisc was popular. It was a niche thing too.
I missed it.
Higher quality, but still more expensive.
Yeah. I missed that. I was a VHS girl, and then I turned to a CD girl.
Okay.
So.
And DVDs.
And DVDs.
Did you have a Walkman back in the day?
Of course. Have you seen my Reese's peanut butter commercial?
Of course we have. That's why I brought it up. When did you shoot that? Do you remember?
Okay, I think. Okay, in 1978 or 9.
Okay.
It was definitely the 70s.
Yeah.
And when I did that commercial, honestly can tell you, I thought it was pretty weird that I was eating peanut butter out of a jar walking down the street. At the time,
I mean, hey.
I wasn't going to bring it up because I got the job and I was like, all right. Fine.
Point of interest.
Nobody does this.
Who would do this? Yeah.
Yes, no one does this. But I had to make it seem natural and this is what we do.
Right.
But the coolest thing was that, first of all, John Kerwin, we did he had me on his show. I have never been on a talk show until John Kerwin show.
Okay.
That was my first talk show. And I have to say, I loved it. It was great. So, but he said to me when we got on the show, we're going to recreate the commercial.
Awesome.
Oh.
So we actually did the commercial together, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then, this year, Stephen Colbert put it on his show, and they made a COVID
Really?
parody of it. They made a COVID parody. They went and literally, they was like, "You got your COVID in my right,"
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh my God! But this year, so
Yep.
it was January.
We'll post that clip on our Instagram page. We'll dig it up and find it.
Post it everywhere.
My greatest accomplishment, right, to have it brought back in a COVID.
I mean, but I think it speaks
Parody.
to not just the fact that everyone loves Reese's peanuts unless you're allergic to peanut butter. and
Right.
That could be a
Sorry
whole
about
other
that,
story.
people.
But the
Yeah.
nostalgia from the late 70s, early 80s,
Yep.
and the 80s across the board, and the early 90s, it's just so palpable and lovable right now. Everyone needs that nostalgia because it makes them feel good inside, and we need more of that feeling good energy.
Yeah, just like going home. You watch old movies and TV, and you're suddenly brought back into what your childhood, your teen years. I think I've always loved nostalgia. I mean, I'm the person, I've always taken pictures, collected them. I'm also a little paranoid by modern, ways of, people put everything on a disc and a drive, and I'm always thinking, what
Right.
if what if the electricity goes out? What if
Totally.
the light goes out?
The drive
And
is
then
going to eventually go out.
all
Yeah.
we know,
Yep.
or like technology changes so much, you cannot play those things again. And so I'm a big fan of the book.
Physical
media.
Photos
Yeah.
and books. Oops. So yeah. So there you go. But I'm a
Uh-oh,
big
this
fan
is
of
live.
this.
Uh-oh.
Dang, sorry, people. Right.
No, but speaking of physical media and having a book out, I mean, I think you can also get this on Kindle, right?
No.
No, okay.
This is, and the reason why I didn't do Kindle on this book, although I did Kindle on my first book, is because I figured anybody who loves Better Off Dead is going to want to get the actual book.
Yes.
And then
Agreed.
they can have me sign it because I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm alive. So you can say, I'm alive, and you can come see me at conventions or whatever and have me sign because
Right.
that's a special treat, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't do Kindle for that reason.
You don't need to.
You know?
I mean, I don't know. It depends on what you're reading per se, but
Yeah.
the fact that you can get this on Amazon, everybody
Yeah.
go out and get it on Amazon.
Seriously.
Diane Franklin, the book is called The Excellent Comedy of the Last American French Exchange Babe of the 80s.
Yeah.
I said that with AKA the Better Off Dead movie tribute book.
Right. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's not like you don't have you have to take a deep breath when you do it. I just, I started my first book and I had this really long title because I wanted people to know, have a sense of humor when you say it.
course.
But what's really cool is that I can just change the word. And the first one was Excellent Adventures. The second one, Excellent Curls. So the Excellent Comedy. So
Right.
it looks nice in a bookshelf, So.
It does. When you were on last time, you had said that the title was maybe going to be The Excellent Coat, I recall.
Yes.
And
yes.
something changed.
Yeah, because, a couple of things. One was that, I love the coat is awesome. And that's what kind of inspired me to do this.
The Better Off Dead Monique's coat,
Yeah.
of course.
But I figured that no one would really look up coat if they were looking up the book. And it was my most excellent comedy to me. Like, it was my favorite comedy. And then, so it also brings you to the place of what the purpose of this book is, that it is a comedy. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and to go back and revisit it as the coat is you're going to find out about, but the I don't. So I think people appreciate the idea that it is obviously the most excellent comedy.
And it's an interesting way of taking like a memoir, so to speak, and changing it around because it is a movie tribute. It's a tribute to Better Off Dead.
Yeah.
It's got great interviews in it.
Yeah, my other books were more about, my life as an actor. My first book about my life as an actor. My second book is more like with a lot of photos in it and more of a tribute to Last American Virgin.
Yeah.
And has some amazing things in it. If you're a Virgin fan, you've got to get the second book, Excellent Curls.
doubt. I
love
That's
virgins.
the one, right? Yeah,
Only
see,
talk to virgins.
They're the ones. That's the Virgin is the second book. I keep it a separate
Gross.
book, right?
Yeah, right.
For reasons. But this,
It's good the first time, but after that, it just doesn't.
right? It doesn't.
Right,
It doesn't.
sorry.
Yeah.
That didn't work. That didn't land like I thought it would. Sorry, guys.
We just have to do a whole run on that because
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. That book has its own magic. But this book is rated G. Like this
Yeah.
book
Yeah.
is anybody can read it. You can show your kids the book, and it's and it's kind of cool because you can share your childhood with your kids. You go, oh, look at this book, but it was harder because this book I was really the investigator. Like I had
Yeah.
to find out everybody's true story, get everybody's information correct, and even then, I'm for those people who do write and they get factual information and things change too.
True.
And also how people feel about things change. Like you could have somebody who loves their film and then all of a sudden one year they're like, oh, I don't want to even talk about it. And like you're going, ooh, like I wanted to be sensitive to everybody who is in this book.
Of course.
How they feel, but also represent them in a way that is through the book.
Yes.
Like, I mean, through the film. The film is an upbeat, fun world, and I wanted to focus on that aspect and what we remember and what we love about the film. So, not going into maybe what they're doing now because they might have a totally different life right now. This is, people change and
Yeah.
Sure.
but for me, that was a hard thing to do, to go through it in each chapter. For example, Kim Darby, love Kim Darby. I worked with her before, and I had a chapter on her. Like I just, everybody's got a chapter, like each actor.
Yes, love that.
And even down to like the little characters, because I really or smaller roles, because
Joanne Greenwald, for
yes,
example.
everybody. You know what? Everyone who's watched this film like 100 times everybody knows those characters so well, and they think, and she is so funny in the movie,
So
by the way,
funny,
Joanne Greenwald. But with Kim, I really thought I'd be able to get an in-depth interview with her, because I still saw her at conventions, and I thought, I'll be able to. She wasn't up for it now in her life, and this is no bearing on her. It's just everybody has the right to have their own life and their own time, and so I just tried to gather as much as I could and just bring back the hilariousness of her character. So funny. She's
I mean, obviously the most notable person would be Lane Meyer himself, John Cusack.
This is Lane Meyer. All right, what am I going to do with you?
Right, and the infamous situation where he was a little blindsided by the movie, and I think initially.
I think you're absolutely correct. I think he did not expect it to be something that he was going to talk about in his career. I think he thought, as a lot of times with actors, we do a film, and certainly when you start, you never think it's ever going to be brought up again, because so many things disappear, like so many films. And for that film to stay alive and people come up to him. And so originally, like when I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, people would say to me, I tried to get John to sign something and he wouldn't sign it. And then it turned into, oh my gosh, I got John's autograph. He's starting to sign my Better Off Dead posters, my Better Off Dead stuff. Now he's signing them. And he is coming around to appreciating, I think, the film for what it is. I think obviously, it's not something that maybe he would have watched. Like, it's like I'm the kind of person who I would go watch Better Off Dead, like on my own, with nobody saying. I'd be like, okay, I'm drawn to this film because it's going to be upbeat and funny, and I want to walk away feeling really good.
True. Yeah.
But sometimes people want to see more in-depth and deeper things. But I don't know. I will say this: I saw John at a convention, and I said to him, we should do a film together again because it's because the fans would go crazy.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just thinking, I would go nuts, and I think it would be so sweet. For whatever it's worth, he's heard it from my mouth. So anyway, but there you go.
Agree.
At least I'm celebrating him. And in this book, you'll see how I word things, and and he's more open now. So
I think again, talking about nostalgia and Stranger Things is on fire once again, and so people are watching. I mean, they gave Kate Bush a whole new audience because of her song featured in the show, which is fantastic. But I love this idea of like you could do a Better Off Dead series with you guys as the parents, and you've got your daughter could star as
Monique.
Yeah.
She can do dialects too, right? She can do that.
You could call her Monique Jr. and they could be like, wait, normally you do that for a boy. And like,
Monique
no, we're twisting it around. She's Monique Jr.
Let's write it right now.
Right? Okay.
I'm just saying, make it happen.
Well,
I'm just saying, get on that.
Right. Well, let me tell you something. I actually have called Savage, and Amanda also, we've talked about it. Amanda and I have like, would you do a remake or a Better Off Dead Continues? And she's like, yes, of course I would. And so I called Savage. I'm like, Savage, you've got to do this. You've got to make this happen. So he kind of is, was trying. I don't know. He said he's kind of doing something. We'll see. I don't know.
If it's in the embers, it's in the embers.
I don't know.
Perhaps?
I think it certainly is something that he would love to do. I don't know if he has the time, but and then I always think like maybe at some point I'll just write something, and I could at some point. It has to, like right now I'm trying to focus on making sure people understand that if you love Better Off Dead, if you're a Better Off Dead film buff, your fantasy has come true now, because you're able to. It's those, what do they call it? Special features.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is now available.
No, totally.
Right?
You've said this before, that it's in this is like the extras on a DVD or Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray finally Better Off Dead got released on Blu-ray about a year ago or so, and like a steel book, really cool. Go get it.
Yeah.
But there was nothing extra on it, right? And so you made the extras for the movie. Which is awesome. And it's, if you're a film buff, you'll like this. If you like memoirs, you'll like this. If you like comedy, you'll like this.
If you like books, you'll like this.
If you like
reading.
If you have children that you want to pass this on, like you share the movie and you go, oh, then you'll like this too.
What do you think the age would be to start showing this movie to a kid? in your opinion, as a parent?
Okay, so
3.
coming from coming from people who have said to me, "Oh, I was 12 years old when I saw Amityville 2: The Possession," or I'm like, "What? Where was your mother?" Or like Virgin.
That was
seriously.
Zach who said that to you last
Yeah,
time.
go listen to Podcasting After Dark.
Zach. I'm like, what's happening? And then, by the way, now that the internet exists, so I have nothing to fear, right? Like nothing.
Right.
I'm going to
Good
say
point.
birth, right?
Good
Seriously,
point.
like you can
So
watch
true.
this. Well, you can watch this because obviously the deeper part of this movie doesn't hit you until you're maybe 12, 13. You know,
Yeah.
like, I mean, like maybe what
Mm-hmm.
it actually says
Yes.
deeper. You can show this to someone who's like, 7, 6, but you can, because anybody who likes goofy humor, they're gonna.
It's a cartoon, really.
They're gonna
is,
focus in on that dancing French fries and hamburgers.
Yes.
I kid you not. Like, if you're a kid and you watch this, all you're gonna say is, "Ooh, that's that movie with the hamburgers and French fries." And the animation. You're not gonna even pay attention to the story. But as you get older, you're gonna pick up more and more. And I think that's what's interesting about this film is that I mean, remember like Bugs Bunny cartoons? Like,
That's what I was
there's
thinking.
things
Yep.
that adults will pick up, but kids
Totally.
won't. And you can watch it a million times if you're a kid and you haven't reached that stage of development yet. You're not going to pick it up. So, I do think anybody can. This is general.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Right. I
You
there's-
have kids. I mean,
right.
you
There's a
tell
couple
me.
things that's probably you just have to explain a little bit later or something, or later.
Right.
Yeah. it could be-
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Of course. Yeah.
It broke.
Right.
Right, what broke?
Oh, they won't get that for a while. They-
What broke? Oh, the tire. Yeah.
Daddy, can you explain to me the chalkboard with the
What's
drawing
the-
and
yeah.
the baby inside or whatever?
What's that? Yeah. Oh, he pulled her dress off.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, I mean, that's going to be
Right.
the most
Yeah, but
risque thing. But,
you're right.
as a kid, you're like, oh, okay. But
Well, in this day and age too, like I remember as a kid and watching Bugs Bunny cartoons, for example, and like the anvil coming down on somebody's head
Yes.
didn't make me want to go out and throw the anvil on somebody's head. So you get this idea of like, yeah, the kids can watch this. They know it's comedy.
Yeah.
I think the car race scene would be a very fun scene to show kids, like where it's and
Yeah.
also just the absurdity of when Lane is sticking the Q-tips in his face. And
yes, yes. I mean,
So many
that's all, like-
moments.
yeah. As long as, I guess they have to be old enough not to put Q-tips in their nose.
don't-
Right,
Okay,
yeah,
that would
probably
be
don't show.
that's
Have a
the
warning.
Right, that's a warning.
Yeah. But nothing about that made me want to do it. You did that?
Put Q-tips in
You
my
just start
face.
shoving things in your face?
I think if
that
I
would-
didn't, my brother probably did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Don't give your brothers any ideas, right?
My older brother
Right.
did it to me.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh.
No,
yeah,
but
you just woke up with a Q-tip everywhere.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a whole other episode of this podcast. But you did all this research.
Yeah.
You wrote
Took
this.
me like 2 years.
I'm
Yeah.
fascinated because you've written 3 books now. You said,
Yeah.
and is it? I mean, I'm coming from a totally ignorant place as far as writing is concerned.
Yeah.
Is that a hard process to sit down and write a book?
Well, I think to do it well, it is. I mean, good question. Okay,
Is
first
it hard
of all,
to write a bad book?
Okay, it's hard to write. It's hard to write a book at all.
Yeah, really.
No,
Just
I
writing,
guess
right?
that's more specifically my point. Is it hard to sit down and say, okay, this is gonna be a novel. I'm gonna make this happen. That's a daunting for me. That's very daunting.
Okay, so here's what it is. First of all, I was an English major in college, which I would never. I was English major. Well, originally I was a science major. Then I changed to English. And then with some theater, I wanted to learn like back theater with. I did it as a minor theater, but
Okay.
but the thing about it was that what majoring in English did for me was it gave me the confidence of language. So that's the first thing I think that's the beginning of like going, okay, well, I'm not afraid of language and speech. Like that's a thing. Like, I was very uncomfortable and like, not confident about it. But what I learned about it was that language is fluid and language changes constantly. So what you think is absolutely correct, like, look, somebody could write something and it could be absolutely perfect with grammar and syntax and like just like vocabulary and structure, and it could be absolutely perfect. But when you read it, it might seem so rigid, and
Yeah.
it might be sort of like a paper. And to me, what got me to write these books was that I wanted people to know who I was through the language that I spoke and through the way I did it. So I wasn't intimidated by it. What was stronger was my desire to do it more so than does it have to be, does the book have to be perfect?
Okay.
That's why we have editors, seriously. Like, thank you
Yeah.
to all those who edit, because you make the writers look great, and but also to have an editor who's sensitive enough to keep it in the way you wrote it as opposed to changing it, which is why I love Michael Piccarella, because we have a great understanding. He has a tremendous love of the 80s, and he's my favorite. He's my editor. I can't ask anybody else to do this because
That's great.
he understands what I'm trying to do, but he also respects the fact that I want it to come off, and he's not changing things. He's only changing it for clarity, perhaps, but not for
Intention.
intention
Yeah.
and how it feels,
Great.
the
That's
tone.
great.
So anyway, so that's the first thing. But I think in writing a book, this was a little bit more like I had to do a lot more checking, and even then afterwards, I went, oh my gosh, I can't believe that there were certain, I don't know, there was something wrong in it, and I was like, oh, I got to change that next time. So if I ever do a new version, I do a couple of changes. But
Find that error, and
yeah,
we will give
find
you a
that,
sticker.
right?
No, I'm kidding.
That's a sticker. I like that. You get a sticker. But I think writing books, what this has done is now it gets me to want to write maybe a movie or
Cool.
or a book or series. It's giving me more confidence to be able to do something like that. And I have a lot of ideas, but my process is I don't sit down at my desk and write.
Yeah.
What I do
what
is
is it?
I think for a really, really long time about what I want it to say.
Okay.
How I want people to come away from after reading the book. Like the thought of do I want them to feel happy? Do I want to be thoughtful? Do I want them to feel warm and fuzzy? Like you think about how the result of what you do is going to affect them. And then everything after I write all my facts of what I'm going to do, and I constantly visualizing first, and I'll make little notes. And then basically what I do is I get the facts and then I pull them all together into the form that I want. But it's much more thinking. And when I do, by the way, I might be typing in my car, waiting for a latte, or you know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't wait for the perfect time to write. I write when inspired. It could be in the middle of the night. It could be, and I make it happen. I definitely do. And I put it away. I'll write and then I'll put it away and I'll go and then I'll be inspired and I'll come back to it. So I don't sit and say I'm going to write now, because that's the end. That's the beginning of the end.
That's more my question, I guess. Is did you
can't do it.
you didn't designate a time? It was just if it came to you, and that's the beauty of having a phone or whatever. You can just take a mental note and jot it down.
Well, the only deadline I had, and this is what happened. Okay, so for 2 years with the pandemic, I'm like, okay, fine, all bets are off. I'm not putting this book out during the pandemic. It's a downtime, and I don't want people to. I don't know. It's people needed to take care of themselves. They shouldn't be in the books. They should be looking at each other's eyes and saying, "Oh my God, thank you, goodness you're alive." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talk to your
Right.
children. It wasn't the time. And so I knew that I wanted to put it out after the pandemic, or more. But then, and I wrote for the 2 years, putting things down, and then at the end of 2021, I said to myself, I have got to get this out for my 60th birthday. I have got to, because if I don't do it now, it's not going to happen. So that was my deadline. And towards the end, so I was, kind of pushing it and rushing it. It was very exciting.
Okay, yeah,
But I got Curtis Armstrong's interview, because at first he couldn't do an interview with me, but then he found time, and I was like, oh yes. So that was amazing. Plus, because everything was Zoom, I did Zoom with him. I have a taped interview with him, and I have a taped interview with Cy Kernan. And
Great.
Cy Kernan was the singer of the song "I've Been Arrested by You." So heartfelt. So many things happened that there are still. Someday you guys are going to see, just so beautiful, just so awesome. So Better Off, this book is not done. There are things that have come from it that are going to continue.
Great.
the reason why, like, one of the things is most time people come up with a book and that's it.
Yeah.
And then, okay, on to the next. This one, the whole year, because remember, Better Off Dead really also has a lot to do with Christmas. Christmas.
Yeah.
So many people, Christmas.
Christmas.
So this book is going to really also have a big meaning around Christmas, and I think people might want to buy it as a present too. It's just a brilliant, like, unusual, fun present.
Oh, totally.
You know?
Yeah.
So because of that, there's some surprises coming with it.
Awesome.
That I can't say yet, but you will start to see. And if you follow me on social media, you're going to start to see some cool things, because the book is going to come out in a bigger way. There's going to be some.
Are we saying like
musical
new
things.
additions is what we're saying?
It's going to be presented. There's something called. It's Proto.
Okay.
There's a Proto. It's a holograph machine, and it's a thing where I'm going to be like the premier author, like the first author to ever be in a hologram with a book.
Whoa.
So it's like
Whoa.
it's gonna. I can't
Like
even
Tupac at Coachella?
It's like it's like I don't even know. I know. I wish. That sounds fun. I'm not sure how they're going to present it, but there's going to be like the press are going to come and it's the whole thing. So
Very cool.
We'll see. But
Okay.
yeah, so it's so all I'm telling people is like get the book now. Like you'll know what's happening and. And if you don't know, then go watch Better Off Dead because it's a very funny
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Besides
That's a
forget
given.
the book and just
Yeah.
go watch the film. Yeah.
That's a given. I think at the end of the book, you're like, just go watch the movie.
Yeah, just go watch. Yeah,
Go,
just
just
stop it.
Stop reading
forget
about
this.
the movie and go watch the movie.
Yeah, and by the way, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's easy or hard to get.
It is. It's super easy. I mean,
Good.
Amazon Prime, it was there in a couple days.
The book?
nice.
Yeah.
No, I mean
The movie.
I mean the movie.
Oh, the movie.
Yes.
Is it hard to watch?
Well, yeah, I mean, there nowadays, for example, go to IMDb and then it says ways to view it or whatever, and you just click there.
Good.
So you
yeah,
can do
thank
that.
goodness.
Yeah.
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 I mean, think about how lucky. Actors are today that you can go back and go, ooh, I want to watch that movie and find it.
Yeah.
That wasn't a given in my lifetime. Seriously, was
Well,
not.
I would like to. I know that about a month ago they screened Last American Virgin at Los Feliz 3 here in Los Angeles, and
Yeah.
and you got to go there, and we could talk about that as well. I would like to see a Better Off Dead screening at, say, like the New Beverly Cinema
and
here in
bring
Los
John.
Angeles.
Find John.
Yeah.
Somebody
I'm
get
not-
John.
And if we can sponsor that, that would be great.
That would be great.
Wonderful.
And,
I'm there.
Yeah. And
And-
Savage, we'll get Savage.
I mean,
Savage
you
will
and
be there.
Amanda, you're still friends.
She
You're good
will
friends
come.
with Amanda Wiss,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we're great. I mean, we are so. That's what's another thing about this film. You know that this was from the heart because we all stay in contact. Curtis, Aaron Dozier, since this is connected, he's back east. Yeah, we're all like still friends, and we all love the movie.
Was it hard? Who was the hardest interview to get for this book? Would you say?
Interesting. Well, I would have to say, it was so fun. Okay, so Amanda was awesome, and I reached out. Like I tried to reach out to everybody. I would say Curtis originally because I really wanted to have Curtis in it, just because. I mean, he's got the best lines.
Charles
in the whole
DeMar.
thing. Charles
Yes.
DeMar.
Best
I mean,
friend of Lane Meyer.
Yeah.
It's very quotable.
I another thing, like I didn't approach this book for financial gain. This is all about the love of
Yeah.
the people and the book. I really, really, really wish that I could have gotten an interview from John just because so many people look up to him and adore him from this film, and like even younger people are going to watch him in this movie and they're going to be like, I'm him. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wish that he would have maybe done an interview, but I didn't want to press it. So I just maybe, who knows, you never know, maybe at some point he'll say he'll do something, but
He'll come
that's
to
the
that
only
screening
regret.
that we do.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if that would be the moment. And the one thing I have to say is we did do a signing convention together, and
Yes.
that was a great moment.
That's
for
where
me.
you're like, we got to do this
That's
show.
awesome.
That was great.
I guess what I'm thinking about too is, you know, you said you didn't do this for financial gain or anything like that. I think that's one of the things that we've always loved about you is that you are such a genuinely good person. And it's not like, well, I'll do the thing, but how much are you going to pay me?
Right.
You know, and
like
while
some other people who remain nameless.
I totally
But no,
get that, by the way.
Look,
No,
if,
listen,
totally
I
get
mean,
that.
We all gotta
look,
live.
everyone has to make a living, and
Yes, of
obviously,
course.
look, I mean, any profits here go to my children's college and life fund, right? So don't even.
Why, no, I guess my
But-
point more is
Yeah.
like it's there's never an underlying like reason why you do things, and I think that's one of the reasons why you're back on our show.
Thank you.
We've been connected for so long because you're such a good person, and I
I'm
think
not
we
like
need
Karen from the Last American Virgin.
Right.
Girl.
You're
That's-
not. You're-
I am
you're
not-
like Monique.
I'm
Yeah.
like Monique.
Yeah.
I'm a Monique. Okay, seriously.
How
like-
was that, by the way, seeing Last American Virgin on the big screen at Los Feliz?
Okay, it was trippy because it was okay. First of all, it's been 40 years.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
so all of a sudden, 40 years.
And Lawrence was there, right?
And Lawrence was there, which was great, and I was
Lawrence
really
Monsoon, who played
yeah.
Gary, the lead. Yep.
He was wonderful, and it was nice because and then Boaz Davidson's daughter showed up. Boaz Davidson was the writer and the director of the film, and based it on his true life. So here he is. Here's his daughter visiting us, like to watch it.
From
what
overseas,
a gift.
from Europe.
No, she's here.
Okay.
But she came because he didn't come, so I guess she was kind of representing the family and
Ambassador of the family.
Yeah.
Oh, what an experience! So that was very wonderful to see her. That was personally for Lawrence and I. We were just really touched by that, and it was what was really amazing was after 40 years, we're watching the film, and people still are absolutely silent at the end. Occasionally,
Gutting.
yeah, like I mean,
We talked
gutted.
about this
Yeah,
last
I
time
mean,
we were on.
people didn't. They were like uncomfortable, awkward, like. It was interesting, and therefore, and everyone was relieved when we got on stage to talk about it because it wasn't like you didn't go but at the end of a movie, woo, yeah.
Like you do it better off dead.
Just once.
Right.
And it's just like,
People were crying. It
I've
was
been
like-
there.
Like,
Gary.
yes.
oh man.
So
Yeah.
so that was amazing to see it. It's still such a human experience,
And a great turnout, by the way.
and it was full.
Huge. Yeah, I
it
think they
was
sold
packed.
out.
They sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's great that the movie carries on.
Sorry, we missed it.
It was
busy. I was
amazing.
busy. I was very busy that day.
Yeah. Right.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Couldn't get
uh-huh.
tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't get tickets. Yeah.
Didn't want-
But I think
tried.
that I think and not
Diane, don't tell anyone.
No, I don't know why I didn't know
Dustin's
about
brain's
it.
going. I hate
I
her
didn't-
secretly.
No,
No. Yeah.
missed social media or something.
Yeah, right. Okay. Terribly devastating ending.
yeah.
But yeah, go watch Better Off Dead. Let's do a Better Off Dead one.
I think
Yeah.
they
Change it.
I think
Yeah.
we should because there's so many memorable moments throughout this whole thing. You talked about Arrested by You. Would you say that's your favorite song off the soundtrack?
Oh, that's hard. I love all the songs. I mean, I love that song. And especially I love it now that I spoke to Cy because
I bet.
he gave me a background. I had no idea. And one of the things as an actor, I find exciting is when I work and I do my parts, and then the next level, like the editor putting it all together, is telling the story, and then the music comes in. And I always wondered if the people who were writing the music or like who put music into films were part of the process where they'd shown the film first and no, I think
Right.
it's just a completely independent thing. They get the script and they think their own thing, which I think is beautiful. So
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're getting such creativity put together by the editor and the director, like just in the end, like, and obviously, with okays from the producer, but still like it's such a group piece. It's a group effort.
Yeah.
I mean, any performance is everybody's important. There's no not important person within theater and within film.
Totally.
Everybody matters,
Down to craft
Collabs.
services.
and the craft services. Seriously,
Yeah.
it puts that smile on your face to get ready to go and do the next thing.
But the music
yeah.
in particular, I mean, obviously, our show, that's a huge component of our show, is one specific song from a movie that stands out to us. Arrested by You definitely does that. There are so many other great songs in that movie. And like you said, it is a Christmas movie, so you've got these elements of Christmas songs in there as well. One Way Love,
And Elizabeth Daily, E.G. Daly's voice.
E.G.
She's another friend of mine. I love E.G. Her voice, I remember when we did the film, hearing her voice.
She's a treasure.
And thought, okay, like, why isn't this girl like a #1 singing star? Like, but I think for E.G., because she's talented in so many different ways.
Yes.
She's an actress, voiceover actress, singer. At the time, I think it really was like, what direction do you go? I mean, she really, it was whatever's in the moment she can do. And she's hot. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like,
she
you
made
know,
that dress made out of tinfoil or whatever it was. She rocked it on stage.
She rocked it. She's wonderful. I just...
that was the song we ended up choosing for when we first covered Better Off Dead. We chose, the theme by E.G.
/ One Way Love.
Yeah, and then looking back as well, because I think we're going to have to revisit and maybe do a follow-up, because Arrested by You.
Oh, wow.
Like, we made if you go to our Instagram, YouTube, whatever, you'll see the promo we did for your appearance on this show, and that song is like hauntingly beautiful.
Oh, it's
and I think
beautiful.
It carries on today.
And I'll tell you something. When you get the book, you'll see the special thing that's going to happen from that. I was blown away talking to Cy. Like, and he was in England also. Like, this is like we're on Zoom. I mean, I think about it too. Like, okay, but 10 years ago, we didn't have Zoom, right? Was it 10? 10
No,
maybe?
I feel like the
maybe,
pandemic has actually made Zoom even more everyone
people
uses
more
it now.
people more comfortable with it.
For sure.
So I mean, here I am talking to him, and he's in England, and I'm like, oh my God, we're in real time. We're talking.
Yep.
He's sharing things with me that he's never shared with anyone. Like, I'm going, oh my gosh, this is amazing about the film, and so there's more treats this year coming out. Really, just incredible. But yeah, that song is so sweet. And there's the thing about also the book is it's such a, you feel good because it talks about the language of love and romance, and I don't know if people, have enough of this. You need more romance in life, not just the sex, which is okay, all right? It's okay. This Ricky and his testicles, but tentacles, whatever you call it. But
Tentacles.
NT, right?
Before we jump into this, quickly to everyone watching and listening, if you have a question for Diane, in a few minutes we're going to do like a Q&A from you guys specifically. So write in the chat. You can write in whatever questions you have for Diane, and we'll do a little, $2 6 questions on live. $2 6 questions is a segment we do on our Patreon where we ask you guys like questions from fans, but we're going to do it live today.
From our patrons.
From our patrons.
Très bon.
Yes.
I have a question for you about the book.
Oui. Yes.
So Savage Steve Holland, the director, also directed One Crazy Summer, How I Got into College. There's a running theme in the book that basically is saying that every actor that was going to meet with him obviously had no idea who he was because it was his first feature, right? No one knew. But everyone had this idea because of the name. It's always like they show up and he's like, well, he's not Savage at all. He's just kind of a goofy, bespectacled, goofy guy. Why is his name Savage? Like, where does that even?
Well, he talks about it in the book.
Yes, but I want to hear your perspective.
Yes.
Like, did you?
Okay, so Savage, absolutely. I mean, everyone hears Savage, we go, what is happening?
Savage.
And everybody thinks when you first hear that name, you're thinking this is a scary guy. And okay, he's the writer, director of this movie. So he's like, you're going, is he crazy? Like when you get the script, when I first got the script, we didn't know anything about it. We knew it was hilarious, but we're like, what kind of Savage are we talking about?
Right.
Like, are we talking about Savage crazy, Savage
Fred
rough,
Savage or Randy Macho Man Savage?
Right. Which in the definite A, B, C, or D?
The Savages.
Sergeant Savage? I don't know.
Right. That's good. And it was such a relief seeing him in person because he has this like curly, he's still to this day, curly blonde hair, beaming blue, like just beautiful blue eyes, like beaming, smiley face. Just looks like a kind of a surfer dude, cute guy, like just really sweet. And it was a big relief. And again, how my experience was when I got to the audition for Better Off Dead, I was in the waiting room and I was like talking to this guy. I was like, is this the right place? I just want to make sure I have an audition. And it was Savage. And I thought he was like a PA or something.
Right.
Or like
Everybody thinks that he's like
an
the
intern.
Hilarious.
He was like, I thought he was going to be like, do you want some coffee?
Right.
Like, I thought, I could trust this guy because I'm not meeting the Savage guy yet.
I'm
So
meeting the Savage guy,
Right,
yes.
I'm meeting the Savage. So
Right.
you know how you
that
do
guy's
that?
in
when-
leather, clearly. The Savage guy's going to come in
go
on
up
a
to the-
motorcycle.
You go in an office and
Yeah.
you see the person wearing like shorts and a
Right.
plaid shirt or whatever, and you're
Yeah.
like, you go up and go, he's the safe guy. Like,
Right.
hey, so like before I meet the big people, and, is there any water? Where's
Yeah.
the bathroom key? Whatever it is you ask, and it was him. He's like, oh, I'm Savage. What? And I'm
Right.
like, so embarrassed. And
I feel like the focus in the camera goes.
Yeah.
Yep, it does.
Oh, crap.
It does, yeah. So it's pretty funny, and he's a sweetheart of a guy. Like, I mean, that's why it's kind of fun when we have him on panels, because everyone's like, "Who is this guy?"
So funny. Yeah.
And yes, and it is very fun. So, and he tells a story about how it happened. So,
Yeah,
I'll
obviously
I'll
read the
leave
book,
that to
but
him.
yeah.
By the way, okay, so I go to write this book, and I said, Savage, do you want to contribute to it? Thinking, because obviously this is his world, his life.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you kidding? Yes. And so the next thing
Awesome.
I know, like, there's like, 40 pages or like 30 pages of stuff. I'm like,
Amazing.
What? And I'm reading that and I'm laughing out loud. So, like, I put whatever I could hear in it and just brilliant.
Well,
Brilliant.
again, it's a really unique way of approaching a memoir because it's just done in a very reflective, but it's very unique.
Oh, so you've read it? I just wanted to know.
Yeah. So, well, we don't want to
What
give
do you
anything
think?
away.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But did you like it?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love
Oh,
that
good.
aspect of it. Well, first of all, I love movie books and all the things that I said people should buy this for are the reasons why I buy these things. But not that I'm everybody, but whatever.
Yeah.
This is a unique way of doing it. You could have just written it, would have been fine.
Right.
But it is
Very
literally,
unconventional.
I think you
Yeah.
describing it as the DVD extras in a book form is perfect because that is what I gravitate towards on when I buy the DVD. I'm like, well, what extra things? Why am I spending $25 on this or whatever?
Exactly.
And then now because
Yeah.
it's chocked full of stuff that you're not going to hear anywhere else, or you're going to hear directly from the source, which is great. And you're not
Primary
just-
source.
Right, there you go.
We go primary. It's like, yeah, I mean, you don't want to hear it from somebody.
Yeah,
You
which is
wanna
great.
hear it.
You like it could have been a fanboy out there writing their own like reflection on it, but you were in it, right?
And how many actors do that? People don't do that.
Not many. And
No.
again,
Yeah.
I think you've written 3 books already, which still
Yeah.
blows my freaking mind. Again,
Oh, I hope it encourages actors to, I mean,
I think you should.
Yeah,
That's
encourages people to. I think Retanya Alda wrote her book based on seeing me write books. 'Cause
Cool.
She said,
Oh.
what I'm going to do, that because again, you're getting the real primary source thing. So I don't know. I personally, I like documentaries. I like,
Yeah.
things that are based on truth. And so to me, when I see stuff like this, I gravitate towards
Well,
myself.
you watch a documentary and you hear someone, I don't know, an entertainment writer from NPR or something giving their perspective on why something worked or didn't. And that's fine. It's great. But then when you hear the person that actually worked in it, talking about it, reflecting on it, that's
Yeah.
where it's more meaningful to you.
Yeah.
And for you to just dig deep and then get all these great interviews,
That was amazing. And oh, by the way, I will say this. Critics are very interesting. I think I know, and I'm going to tell you this. No, because
Very nice way to put it.
Well, no,
way.
because what it is the reason why critics are important is because they are taking information that is not theirs. That they don't own, and they are trying to interpret it in a fair way as best they can. But okay, maybe not. Maybe it's called a critic for a reason.
Right.
But let's say documentary people are more trying to get the truth. But even within that truth, again, I mean, I've seen people who are trying to do documentary things, and they just have to be very careful. It's litigation and all this
Totally.
stuff.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you something. I like critics, and I'll tell you why I like the value. Because for everything you do, there's always going to be somebody who doesn't like what you do.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yes.
That's okay because you don't want to. It's not about pleasing everyone. It's about connecting with the people who understand what you're trying to do. So obviously sometimes a critic will say something and it'll make you so angry you watch it. You go, you know what? What are they talking about? I'm going to watch it anyway. I will say that even in the world of Better Off Dead, when Better Off Dead came out, the critique was not good because they were going to critics and they were saying, what do I spend my, I'm going to say $2 on, even though it's probably not true, to go to the movies? What am I going to spend my money going to the movies on? I'm going to the critic to say, where do I put my money? And the critic will go like, well, don't do it there. Put it into something like Sophie's Choice or, Officer and Gentleman, or, they'll try to give you something that your money is going to be worth and you're going to see something, or even maybe to make up the profits of the company who's paying them. Who knows?
Sophie's
Whatever.
Choice is a Sophie's Choice between Sophie's Choice and Better Off Dead. Unless you're Rex Reed and you get paid to say
Right.
no.
See,
I'm just kidding.
No,
Sort of.
right.
That's a huge part of it.
No, I mean, look, and like, okay, that makes sense. Like, okay, that's cool. But now that the internet exists, we can say, what is our taste? What do we feel like watching?
Totally
And
different
What
from
do
the
we
80s.
feel like and not feel like?
Yep.
Like I know people who they love horror, but they don't like a certain kind of horror. And no, even though it's available on the internet, they just choose not to watch it because they're their own director in their life of what they're going to see. They're not going to just watch anything and put that imagery and film is very powerful, so we are our own directors in our life.
Yes.
And we can choose, I like that, I watch this. And you can make recommendations to people of what you like, but now you have to be the critic and say why you like it and why you don't, because you've got your friends saying, well, you like it, but why do you like it? Because I'm a little sensitive to watching this or that. And Better Off Dead is the title makes you think, but then the movie, a lot of people, when they talk about Better Off Dead, they're reassuring. They're going, it's okay. I know, I'm your friend. I wouldn't mislead you. You can watch this. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Because there's moments where it's like a fever dream where you're like, oh, he's having his fantasy moments. And we even talked about this when we first discussed the movie. There's like a tonal shift kind of midway through where it becomes more fantasy aspect, which is great. But it's not like, there's people that like psychological horror and that's it. There's people like who are gore hounds and that's it.
Yep.
This has a little bit of everything for someone.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that Better Off Dead it's a universally appealing film, I think, across the board, because you're right, it does deal with very heavy subject matter, but it's done in a way that at the end of it you go, okay, yeah, that's heavy and we can have a discussion after this,
Right.
which is actually not a bad thing. Right?
Absolutely.
But it's done in a way that it's tasteful and it's lighthearted and you're joyful at the end because the guy gets the girl, spoiler alert, and gets the car, spoiler alert. But that's it. You can walk away going, okay, I don't feel heavy. I don't feel like I have to reevaluate my life. I don't feel like I have to cancel anything.
Right. No, cancel. That's funny. I will say what's interesting about the films that I do is they're really good college paper films.
Oh.
Like Last American Virgin, great college paper. Better
no
Off
doubt.
Dead, college paper.
Terrorvision?
Terrorvision. Well,
I don't see why not.
That's probably a kind of relaxing one, I would say.
Talk to Corey
right,
on
right.
Podcasting After Dark,
right.
yes.
But still, you might want to do a college paper after that. And Bill and Ted's, okay, that's a high school movie. People show it or even they show it in school. The high school, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures.
I know
There's history.
Yeah.
You're learning.
I did pause on Better Off or Bill and Ted's with my son because I'm like, there's some things that work and then some things that don't work in this day and age.
Yeah, that's true, actually, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
However, but that movie has stood the test of time.
Yeah.
I think Terrorvision is one of those underrated gems, and you and John Grice are the
Grice,
are the highlights of that movie. Truly, I mean, well, it's an ensemble cast that is like, I mean, everybody.
It's
in that
so
movie.
funny. It's a parody of the 80s, made in the 80s, which is why no one got it, because they didn't understand that it was making fun of the generation.
I mean, I was calling a jacuzzi for the longest time, and like, give me a Heine, and people were like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "You haven't seen Terrorvision?" They're like, "What is wrong with you times two?" I don't. Kiss the boot. No, get out of here.
Right.
You're gone. Leave my party now. I'm
That
sorry.
Brings us to today.
Yep, here we are.
I still
He
say
ran
kiss the
from that
boot.
party.
Kiss the boot.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
My brother used to get in my face and say kiss the boot, and he'd say, "Are you into metal?" And I'm like, Yes.
I'm going to make you take your pills, which is today. Right?
Sorry, I know we're kind of running out of time. We're already at the hour mark, which is crazy.
Oh my goodness!
I'm just going to throw really quickly. Sandro Diaz, he's a huge fan of yours. He just wanted to say that he had a huge crush on you and Better Off Dead. I'm sure you still do.
Merci.
Sandro. Yeah,
Sandro.
Merci,
Sandro.
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 Yes.
Merci, Sandro.
And thank you, Sandro, for being a Patreon.
Yes, thank you.
But
Truly.
really quickly, just some questions. If you made a mix CD for somebody, what's one song you would put on it?
Oh gosh! If I made a mix CD,
A mixtape.
That's so unbelievably difficult. My brain is.
Yeah, who asked this question?
Wow.
Well, that's from me.
Oh, that's from you. Okay. Of course, the difficult question.
Dang. You know,
Right?
Tick tock.
You
tick.
give her the easy one. What's your favorite color?
Oh yeah, purple.
Oh,
okay.
nice. Good
Nice.
choice.
Good.
So
That's the next question.
that changed.
Good.
You know, over the years in purple now. Gee, wow. Well, you know,
That's my language of love, by the way, is mixed CDs, mixtapes. I made many for my wife. I've made over 20 for my wife.
Can I just say a song from the 80s? Because it's just
Sure.
a song from the 80s.
How about Arrested by You?
There you go.
I'll say Arrested
Yeah.
by
Ding,
You.
ding, ding.
Right, yes,
Correct.
Arrested by You. Nice.
That's
and just once, I guess. Can I just,
okay. Well,
right? Sorry
yeah,
about that,
yeah.
right? Sorry. Okay,
Downer.
it's Arrested by You. Okay.
All I know is I would sing that song like to myself while I'm making breakfast or something, and my son, who was like maybe 4 or 5 at the time, started singing it to himself. And
Arrested by You.
no, just once.
Oh, just once.
Oh,
I was
no.
doing my best,
Oh,
but I
no.
guess
Yeah.
my best wasn't good enough. And I'm like, no, Bodhi, don't go
Don't
there.
do it. Don't
Affirmation
do it.
manifested.
One Way Love. I could say maybe the Better Off Dead
One Way
themes.
Love.
Yeah.
One Way Love. One Way Love.
I
Good
put,
energy.
put One Way Love on a mixtape for my wife. She put Arrested by You on a mixtape for me. And
Really?
that's why we're married. That's not why we're married. But,
but it's
yes,
pretty close.
Yes, before
it
we were
keeps you
married.
together,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, no, yeah.
We have some really
Yeah.
nice quotes from people. Well, his handle is Bogart McFly, but he just said, "Thank you, Miss Franklin. I follow you on Twitter, and I got a free Blu-ray when you kindly responded to a question I made during one of your live interviews." And he just wanted to thank you for everything
Merci.
you're doing. Yeah.
Merci.
And then Thomas says he met you at Thomas Zich met you at a convention last year. So nice to my
Thomas!
family. Thank you, Diane.
Oh,
Yes,
a lot of
this is
love.
no offense to anybody,
Bonjour.
but these aren't questions, guys.
Okay,
Listen,
yeah, you're
thank
right.
you, Diane. You know,
Just
she's
some
amazing. We all know
shout-outs.
that. Shout-outs are great.
Hi.
But listen, if you have questions, that's why we're here.
I will
Nothing
be
against anybody. but-
tomorrow. I will be in Atlantic City for a convention. If you are there, come
Yes.
visit me.
Atlantic City?
Yes, retro. Rewind retro convention.
That's a big one.
It's Showboat at the Showboat.
I saw a flyer for that. I believe Keith Coogan's going to be at that, and he just I think he put up
Yeah.
a thing on his Instagram.
tomorrow.
That sounds familiar.
I'll be there Friday and Sunday. No, Saturday.
What day is it
What
now?
day is
we
it
don't
today?
Who
know.
am I? Saturday and
Yesterday.
Sunday. And then I'm also going to be at the, okay, this is another one. LA HorrorCon at the LA Convention Center. So excited.
In October?
October 1st and 2nd. Yeah. So I got both kind of coasts. So
Do you remember Fangoria conventions?
love Fangoria. I don't know if I've been to a Fangoria convention.
We got to
though.
talk to Tony
Those are
Timpone because he's
older.
the one who would run those back in the day.
Oh, I want to be on.
Yeah, you should be.
I-
You need to be.
I need to be. Yeah.
Because TerrorVision is, again, I'm just going to
Plus,
toot it again.
I'm
It's
like
great.
in Amityville Murders right
Well,
now.
yeah,
and
come
I'm
on.
Hello.
Ted Bundy right now, so like I'm still.
And there
kicking
may
it
be
with
some
the horror.
Amityville things in the pipe, perhaps?
Yes.
Can you tease? Well, I
Yes.
just teased it, I
There's
guess.
a couple of things. I'm going to be doing an interview for some kind of a special that might be going on in Amityville.
Very cool.
And I also just did, by the way, the sweetest, coolest film. It's a short film, but it's called Falling Up, and it's going to go to. It's right now being
Yes.
seen at. Film fests, so at really good film fests. So if you see Falling Up, you'll see me in it. And my daughter Olivia saw the film with me. There was a cast screening and crew screening, and she was like, "Mom, you were so great in that film." And I just want to share that Falling Up is another really. She was really. It's like great when your daughter respects you, and then she loves.
Well, your daughter is definitely very talented. So Sandro
All right.
Diaz has a question for you.
Got it.
Sandro, nice. Can you go over how you're picked for Better Off Dead for the role? Like, was it hard? Was it challenging?
I was being considered for Beth more than Monique. I don't even think they thought of Monique, but I had just done a film where I played a French girl, and I was like, I am Monique. Like, I beelined for it. I'm like, I am Monique. There's no other person I can, like, this is the role. So I went in with the intention of auditioning for that part. Whether they give it to you, you never have control over, but you just cross your fingers. But I just felt it. So I think what's interesting about the process is, as an actor, it's always like, it's just a moment.
Yeah.
Like, you could be an actor, and if you don't have the guts to go after what you connect with, it's gone. The role is gone. And then sometimes you go for something and you are not connected to it at all. Other people think you are. Like, the other people see you as that.
Yeah.
And you go, I don't know. And they go, yeah, I see you as that. And you go, I don't know. And you do your best. But then you kind of sometimes find your way in it. It's just interesting. The casting process is the most spontaneous, in the moment experience, but it is exciting.
Did you have callbacks for it?
Good question. I didn't have a callback for
Whoa.
it. I'm just realizing this now, 40 years, or whatever years later.
Update.
We were talking
See,
to,
there we go now.
No callback.
Right, seriously, no
Wow.
callback.
Wow.
I auditioned. I met the director, Savage, in the hallway of in the waiting room.
Could you give me a Coke?
Yeah,
dude?
can you? I'm really tired. Can I just need I have a headache. Can you just give me an Advil?
Do you have any
or something?
Reese's
Tired.
peanut butter?
Right. That's you go.
You just come in with
Do
your
you have peanut butter cup? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm a little irritated. I've got to meet these people. I'm really not into
Do you have a
it.
chunk bar?
Right.
Remember chunk bars?
Right.
Chunk.
peanut butter cup.
Why would anyone eat a chunk bar?
Disgusting.
Disgusting, and always told that they were rats
Yes.
fur in it.
Yes, I heard that rumor too.
I heard rats fur.
Disgusting.
I never heard that.
Sorry, chunk bar, but
Yeah,
I
that
never
was.
chunk
ate one,
bars.
but I never heard that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It was
That's funny.
It was,
Someone found rat poop or something, or bones.
seriously,
Or, yeah.
don't do it.
Chunk.
The
Yeah,
McRib.
never-
That was always the legend. The McRib. That rats had fallen into the.
I heard that about fried chicken
the
at
McRib.
KFC. Kentucky
Oh
Fried Chicken.
my God! Now,
Clearly, they've been. spread
Now we're
around.
going nostalgic.
Yeah.
yeah, really nostalgic.
Remember when you could go out to dinner and find a rat bone in your
Right.
chicken bowl?
KFC.
Right.
Anyways, no callback for
Okay,
that.
so no callback. Answer.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
impressive.
I am very happy that there was no callback. It was just instant. Yeah, that night I got the call. Was it that night or the next day? Yeah, it was. I'll have to think about that.
So awesome.
Do you have any conventions slated for like Orlando or Florida coming up soon?
Are you just
No,
asking that
but I-
randomly?
No, Sandro. actually.
Oh, okay.
I went last. I had a convention last year.
Zach loves Florida, by the way.
And
Loves-
I
loves-
love Florida. So I'm hoping that I will go back, but I have nothing slated right now.
Okay.
I went last fall. Loved it.
What about the
I think it was near
Sands,
Orlando.
the 80's and the Sands? Is that coming back?
I'm going to be going to that. That's going to be the end of October.
Oh, nice.
It is at Planet Hollywood right near Cancun or in
Okay.
Cancun. And I'm excited because I love 80's in the Sand. Truly go, or actually now it's called The Sand.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is.
Go
They
check
follow
it
us, so I
out
should be-
because
There's
they
no
might be
80s
not.
anymore?
Well,
They're
they
just-
might
they're
not
more
just.
general?
They might like take some people out of the 80's.
Been
maybe.
toe dipping into the 90s.
Yes,
a little bit.
yeah, a little toe dipping.
Little
so,
warm water toe dipping.
Yeah.
best event ever. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone.
the-
If
everything
you love
team.
the 80's, check it out. Go to the site, 80's in the Sand, and
Yes.
I'm not listed yet. They haven't put the actors up yet.
They
but,
have mostly the bands
the
that
bands.
are like Fine Young Cannibals, I think, is one of the bands is going to be performing.
I
Right.
didn't even know
That's
that's
not-
an update.
Right. Is that 80s? Their
I
hit?
think that's late 80s, early
Must have been
90s.
that-
They have
yeah, on the
I
cusp.
think isn't Boy George? I think Boy George.
I
is
think Boy
there.
George, Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice, yeah. They have
okay.
like a wide range of performers too.
It is pretty vast,
They've had Sebastian Bach. They've had
Okay.
Sammy Hagar they had.
Yeah, Sammy Hagar. Yeah.
Well, I think the last time you were there, Bob Romanis was there with you. And
Yes, he's awesome. Yeah, it is unbelievable. It's super fun, and you get to see everybody. Billy Idol last
Yes.
year. I met Billy
Yes.
Idol last year. He remembered me. He's like, "Hello, Diane," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, my life is complete." Right? Right? You know that.
That's so funny.
so,
That's awesome.
so just really quickly on the callback. So no callback because Bob Romanis had come in and he talked about Fast Times and he had to go back many times for Damone.
Oh,
and here you are.
Yeah. No, that was it. Wow. And even also with Princess Elizabeth, no callback.
No callback.
Just being princess.
How was that? So how was that being just like that teen idol for such a long time? You know, just being in Better Off Dead, being not on screen as that teen sensation.
Well, it's happening now, so I don't know. Back then, because there was no internet, we didn't have the experience that's happening now. I mean, I didn't do the magazines and the
No Tiger Beat.
No Tiger Beat. No. You know,
17.
People kind of did a little bit like they'd say, oh, you know, put you in Us magazine, like they'd see a picture or they'd put me in People or something. But it was not, unless you did that as you're a publicist. I didn't have a publicist.
Okay.
People didn't really know anything about me. So I didn't even know that I was
mystery.
the
There's
teen.
mystery.
So now is when I'm suddenly finding out, oh, you were my teen crush. Or I mean,
that's
that
funny.
was over the, years I've done the conventions. That's when I found out. I had no idea. You know, I really just was like, oh, I'm, just an actress.
And here you are with us now.
An actor, yeah.
One more question. We have Lee Germani, who's a friend of the show. Lee's
Hi, Lee.
very supportive.
Hi, Lee.
He says, was there any role you turned down that you regretted?
Yes. Yes.
Princess
I think.
Leia,
No,
Star Wars?
Princess- yeah,
No, I'm
yeah.
joking.
Titanic.
You know,
Sophie's Choice? No.
well, yeah, exactly. Sophie's Choice.
Right.
I turned it down. I really thought
It was a hard decision.
Yeah, I just didn't like the story too much.
Yeah.
No, it was a bummer. Like, no.
Yeah.
Bummer, man.
Right. Wow. There was a movie which actually there's movies that I wish I had gotten. Turning down. The only movie that I really turned down that was was Then, This Is Now.
Oh, yeah, with Craig Sheffer and Emilio Estevez.
No.
It was based on an S.E. Hinton novel.
That was Then, This Is Now. No, it's
Zach was so excited.
was
Oh
then-
my God.
I love that movie.
No,
Tell
it
me
was
everything.
Some kind
no,
of
it was
no,
a
no, it
book,
wasn't that one.
and they turned into a movie, but
Yeah.
it was with
Yeah.
Laura Dern. I think that was Then. This Is
Oh, with
Now. It was
Laura
big-
Dern?
Laura
Yes.
Dern.
And Laura Dern got the
Was
part.
it Ramblin' Rose or
No, it was a movie.
Smooth Talk?
That's what it was. Okay, that's
Talk,
why I did
yeah.
get. That was Then, This Is Now was based
On S.E.
Smooth
Hinton.
Talk was based on a book. Smooth
Yes.
Talk, that's what it was.
yeah,
And-
with Treat Williams.
yeah, I was offered the part originally, and I was like, I had been playing that role so many times where I was the innocent and taken advantage of, and I was like, I don't think so. I just was like, I just can't go there. But
Yeah.
that would have led to a totally different career.
Totally.
And I wouldn't have I've done Better Off Dead, so I'm really glad the way it worked out. And other films like, there are films that I wish that I had gotten, but that was one where that was a real choice. Like I was like, no, I didn't say yes right away. And not that they were like banging down the door, but still it was definitely, there.
Well, I
So-
think Monique is a unique and iconic role.
Merci. This
across
is
the
very
board.
dear to my heart, and it is very upbeat, and you can do it. And we need this now.
Yeah.
We need it during the pandemic.
We do.
Right?
We need
We
it more.
really
so,
do.
so go out and buy Diane Franklin's book on Amazon. Go to Amazon. Just search Diane Franklin book, and it'll all come up.
Say the title without looking at it.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
Say it 10 times fast.
The excellent comedy of the last American French exchange babe of the 80s, a.k.a. the Better Off Dead movie tribute book. There
Very
you go.
nice. Fantastic.
One take, Johnny.
Right.
Diane, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you back on the show.
I am so glad I'm alive, and I am so grateful to see you guys alive too.
So
and here we
grateful
are.
to be live with you and being seen by you. And thank you
yeah,
for coming back.
We're all
This
being
is-
seeing each other,
yeah.
and thank you for you, because you are the most
Yes.
important people out there.
Yes.
Truly.
Thank you for
everybody.
listening, because that it makes my day, makes me really happy.
Well, you made our day.
It makes my day better off. There, not dead though.
Oh.
Okay.
Better off day.
Day. It's better off day.
Better off. Yes.
It's a
Happy-
better off
thank you.
day.
My day better than a last American virgin.
There we go. Right. There we go.
Well,
better off.
what else can we do?
It was a most excellent.
Interview.
The excellent interview of the last American French exchange.
If this is our first time, we could call it our virgin interview. But
Yeah. Oh boy.
Right,
missed
but
that.
no, now it's
No,
it's
but 3 books. You got to come back. We got to have 3 interviews with you at least.
good.
yeah,
All
because
right,
the
I'll be
trilogy,
back.
You know,
the
if-
trilogy, it's always the best.
If
one.
you're still open after this one, I don't know. You
I'm,
might be
I
like,
will be back
yeah.
at some point. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Wait, what? You brought that one back.
Oh yeah, remember the good guys always win, even in the 80s.
Just do a catchphrase that we don't use anymore, and
Our new
Branding.
catchphrase is the
Branding.
good guys always win, even in the 80s.
All right,
So
I'll
there you
take
go.
it.
Megaforce.
Megaforce, Barry Bostwick.
Barry Bostwick.
Oh
Love
yeah,
Barry Bostwick.
you do, and you worked with Barry
Oh,
too.
he's the best.
Yep. Well, Barry, we'll have him in studio.
Oh, we
down
should
the
do
road.
a Barry Bostwick, Diane Franklin. We'll talk about Summer Girl.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Sorry, guys. We thought it was ending. But
We
no.
saw, this is so awkward because now we're gonna have more goodbyes.
Do we
but
have to
yeah.
say goodbye again?
No, we'll say
No,
goodbye.
Zach will
Hey,
do that.
if
Zach
you
will
have
say
any
goodbye again.
suggestions,
Yeah.
let them know
Yeah.
because maybe
Yeah.
we could do a group things. That'd be
Interact.
fun.
Well,
Yes.
I would love to. We would love to have you and Amanda in here to
yeah.
reminisce and actually, talk about how you can not get along or maybe be, pining for the same guy, and yet it all works out in the end.
Yes, see, there we go. That's the sequel. With John and I. We were all trying to find John, but we can't
I
find
love
him.
it so
And Curtis
much.
is like, I'm role playing in Ireland.
Right, right. Exactly.
Okay.
Really.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining
All
us.
right.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Bye.
Merci beaucoup.